happy Easter to all of you. This year in 2021, Easter is a little bit more special to me, not only because lockdown is easing up now in the UK. After last year, we were in full lockdown for this holiday, but also because I have been taking advantage of being furloughed so I can celebrate Easter properly, bringing some of my old traditions from Romania into my life here in the UK that I'm going to share with you today in this vlog. Welcome to my channel. My name is Catalina George. I'm a writer and a vlogger, and here I publish vlogs about lifestyle, about my Romanian heritage, as well as about traveling, when traveling will be possible again, and that will happen soon, because in the UK it seems that the situation is evolving very positively right now, so we'll be able to travel locally to start with, but that is such a good improvement after all of these restrictions that we all had to go through. Now, you have noticed my bunny ears, I'm sure. I put them on just for a little bit of fun because I've always loved dressing up, and I grew up with mask balls when I was a child in communist Romania. Apparently, they were very popular in communist times in our schools. Who would have guessed? And right now as well, I have all sorts of like bunny ears and kitty ears and all sorts of like corsets and things to dress up, steampunk as well, because that's just something that I really enjoy, and I hope that these made you have a bit of fun and a bit of a smile at the beginning of this vlog. Now, before I ditch them and we talk about Easter, I want to tell you a little bit more of what this is going to be all about. Since I've been in the UK for many years, I have missed my traditions from back home from Romania, because we have lots of different ones for Easter, but I've also got used to the way that people celebrate Easter in this country, in the UK, and I want to bring the two together and share with you what I am doing from both traditions mixed together. Over all of these years that I've been living in the UK now, one of the traditions from back home in Romania that I've been missing the most is having boiled colored eggs for Easter. This was always something that I loved doing. It was my task in the family, because there are so many Easter preparations in Romania that, you know, everybody gets so excited about. And even more so for me, because I do come from a priest's family. My father is a retired Romanian Orthodox Christian priest, and all of these things were kept in our house, and they just brought so much joy on every Easter week. So coloring the boiled eggs was one of my favorite tasks, and everybody got so used to me doing it that nobody ever asked, oh, can I do it this year? Right now, one of my foster brothers is doing it himself. So we'd have red eggs and blue eggs, green, yellow and orange. And basically what you do is first you boil the eggs, how many you want to. Now for myself this year, I've only done about 8, because nobody around me loves eggs much. My partner doesn't like them, his kids don't like them, not even my flatmate, so it's just the eggs that I have made for myself, and boiled eggs will stay really nicely in the fridge for a long time. So for myself, I chose 2 colors because I wanted to boil 8 eggs, and I chose red and blue. But first I boiled the eggs hard. That's what you do. You boil them gently because you don't want them to crack. Even if it does make, you can still color cracked eggs, and it does make some nice patterns sometimes on the actual egg. And the dyes are safe to eat, so they food dyes anyway. But yeah, so I chose red and blue because they are quite traditional colors, and you have to have red for your boiled Easter eggs if you're going to do this. Why? Because it relates to the actual tradition. We do this in Romania because we have this story about when Jesus was crucified. The women and disciples that were following him around, they had a basket with food, and in that basket there were some eggs as well. And they put the basket at the foot of the cross. And when Jesus was bleeding out of his wounds, then the blood just dripped on the basket and just colored these eggs. But obviously this is more of a folk tradition, but I like the story, and I like that it reminds us of sacrifice for the good of everybody and for the good of others. Now, I am a spiritual Christian more than a very, very religious one, but one of my favorite quotes around Christ's sacrifice on Easter is saying that there is no greater love than for somebody to give his life for his friends. So that's it. That's how it relates to the actual meaning of Easter for me. As you've probably already guessed, my family is religious, but we are not very dogmatic, not even my father. For us, Christianity is about love, compassion, and community, and that's reflected in the way that we always celebrated our biggest holidays, and Easter of them all, because it does happen in springtime and sometimes even later in springtime. There is a difference between Catholic and Anglican Easter and the Eastern Orthodox Easter, because a lot of the Orthodox churches in the East, they still keep the old calendar, so Easter will fall at a different date, and even this year it falls 1 month later than the Catholic and Anglican one does. So yeah, this year in Romania they'll be celebrating Easter on the 2nd of May, which means really good weather, which means that children can play in the churchyard. The churchyards back in Romania don't have graveyards, generally speaking, not the Orthodox ones. They're full of trees and sometimes flowers and some green space and benches for people to sit around. And that is where a lot of children will play during the Easter week when children are off from school. And that's what I did a lot with my brother and our friends. Every Easter morning we would wake up to the call of prayer that children were already doing on the big wooden board that was hanged up between 2 trees, and later on my dad built a little bit of like a gazebo where they hanged up this wooden plank. And what you do is you learn these traditional calls to prayer, that you learn how to tap on the wooden plank with 2 wooden hammers, and the wooden plank just resounds of it, and you can hear this rhythmic playing just all across the village, and it's just full of joy and celebration. And this is what Easter is all about to me. We used to spend the afternoons there, and then in the evening we would go to church, but as children we were restless, so a lot of times we would sit around for 20 minutes, then go back in the churchyard to play tag or to play hide and seek. And we were perfectly fine to do so. We were allowed to do so as long as we were not too noisy as to disturb the service in church. Of course, that is something more difficult for me to replicate here in the UK, particularly now that I live in a flat. Maybe I could hang a wooden plank on the balcony, but that would probably freak out all of the neighbors, and it would be so noisy in a city environment. It just fits there in the countryside where I grew up. And we all learned how to do this from the older people, and then we taught it to our foster brothers. It was just so good, so good. But then what I can do here in the UK as well is enjoy gardening and enjoy the garden back in the countryside where my partner lives. Now people can meet in back gardens, outdoors, from different households, and that is so, so good. I've seen so many people in the UK visit their friends for a cup of tea and for lunch out in the garden. I've been doing some gardening this week and just enjoyed the hyacinths. For me, those are the flowers of springtime and of Easter. Hyacinths with their beautiful, vibrant colors and their amazingly sweet perfume. I even got some here in the kitchen, as you might have already seen. in the B-roll. Some of them were so heavy and they were just tilting a little bit, so I thought I can cut them and bring them with me to the flat for the kitchen table in the lounge. There is one thing that Easter in the UK and Easter in Romania have got in common, besides just the joy of the holiday, children playing, having fun, families getting together, and it being a new beginning, springtime, that everybody enjoys. The one thing that we've got in common in both countries is the meat that gets served on Easter, which tends to be lamb. In Romania, we don't really cook that much lamb otherwise, other than barbecue or grill it in summer. But lamb is not so much used in Romanian cuisine otherwise, while here in the UK you kind of have it all across the year as far as I am aware. Also for Christmas, the Romanian meat is pork. We have the tradition of slaughtering the pork, the pig, from the backyard before Christmas in the countryside, and here in the UK Christmas meat is turkey. So we do have this in common between the two countries for Easter, and I have bought a leg of lamb that I'm going to cook for myself. We do have something back in Romania that is so specific that I've never cooked myself, and I haven't managed to get ready for doing it this year, but in the future I really want to do it. And what that is, drum roll! It is a lamb mince that gets slow cooked in the oven, and it has offal in it. I know not a lot of English people are necessarily very fond of having offal, but that is something that we love in Romania. And if I think about it, that is something we've got in common with Scotland. Scottish haggis, which I loved. So what we do is just mince all of this offal and some nice fatty meat from the lamb together, and then cook it slowly in the oven with lots of herbs, and that is one favorite meat back in Romania for Easter. Now, during my first few years in the UK, I didn't really celebrate Easter for a variety of reasons. First of all, I did not have family close by, and that was something so important for Easter, to be with my family. Then second as well, I was working in social care as a support worker for adults with learning difficulties, while I was looking for a way to get back to university and to finance my studies and to financially support myself while I was doing a master's degree. So for all of those years, I mostly worked for Easter, took shifts, because a lot of my colleagues, they had kids that they wanted to be with for Easter, and that was absolutely fine. I did not have kids of my own, so that was absolutely fine. Then, while I was doing my master's degree, I met Adrian, my partner, who's got his kids. So then things changed a little bit, and I started properly celebrating Easter here in the UK. And the way that we celebrated Easter was, obviously, Good Friday is a bank holiday. So we were all free on Good Friday, and we take his daughter Rosie mostly, because she was always ready to go out, go for a walk. So we could go to Shrewsbury or any other very nice place around to just explore and maybe stop in a cafe, have a hot drink, have a bit of cake. Then we would go to church as well, because Adrian goes to the local Catholic church. And then on Easter Sunday we'd have a roast dinner, and then quite often in the afternoon again go for a walk, all the four of us, with his daughter and his son as well. And that is something that something we've got in common in both countries, which is Easter being just a time to celebrate together, spend time together like that. In Romania, particularly in Transylvania, we have all sorts of traditions that are very community related, very family related, and a bigger family, like all of the second grade cousins and uncles and aunties and all of that. Quite often in my region in Banat, on Easter Sunday, young people, children, teens, they would be given packages with a bit of cake, with these boiled colored eggs, with a bit of special Easter bread that they would go and take to all of the different members of the family, aunties, uncles, grandparents, and so on. And that was such a lovely occasion. That meant that for Easter you managed to see a lot of your extended family, catch up with them, enjoy food, enjoy a good chat and a little bit of a joke. And that's why Easter always felt like such a community-orientated holiday back in Romania. And of course, there is one more aspect that Easter in Romania and Easter in the UK have got in common, and that is Easter eggs. They might be different types of eggs, because in Romania we have the boiled colored eggs that I've already mentioned and showed you in this vlog. And in the UK, you've got not something that I don't like, it's something that I quite enjoy myself, the chocolate eggs. And there they are, 3 chocolate eggs that I bought for my partner Adrian. Ooh, this is turned the other way around, for my partner Adrian and his kids, that they will get for Easter this weekend. And that's something very tasty that we all enjoy for Easter in the UK. Now, these have been the traditions from both Romania and the UK that I'm going to have for my Easter in 2021 and just enjoy it as much as I can, which I hope that you will do. Just have the best Easter possible this year, now that restrictions are less restrictive here in the UK and you can meet friends and family in your back garden. And hopefully next year we'll all have the best holidays ever, and all of this will be just a memory of some very weird times that we had to go through. I hope you enjoyed this vlog, and if you did, remember to hit that like button. Remember to subscribe to my channel for future such vlogs. And before I say goodbye for today, I want to brag a little bit with my Easter bunny that I've already received from a friend. You might know, if you've watched my vlogs before, that I am very much of a fan of Reese's peanut butter chocolate. And again, before I say goodbye, I am going to plonk these back in because they are just so much fun. Just a little bit of craziness. And thank you for watching again. Until next time then, ciao for now.